our CEO and President, Heather Ray. But before Heather can talk, we have a little surprise. Our most recent board trustees meeting, our board unanimously voted outside the presence of Heather to present her with a resolution. And I'd like to read that to you tonight. This is a resolution of the Board of Trustees of Common Ground in honor of Heather Ray. Whereas the Board of Trustees recognizes that effective leadership is essential to the mission, vision, and success of our organization. And whereas over many years, and in particular over the past year, Heather Ray, Chief Executive Officer, has demonstrated extraordinary leadership, commitment, and vision in advancing the organization's goals and strengthening its impact. And whereas Ms. Ray, together with her, I gotta say, terrific leadership team, has guided the organization through a period of significant turbulence and transformation, navigating complex challenges with integrity, strategic insight, and unwavering dedication to excellence. Now therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby commends Heather Ray for her outstanding service and exemplary leadership. Be it further resolved that the board expresses its deepest appreciation and gratitude for her tireless efforts, her commitment to the mission, and the profound and lasting contributions she has made to the organization and the people it serves. And be it finally resolved that this resolution be entered into the official minutes of the board and a formal copy be presented to Ms. Ray as a symbol of the board's recognition and thanks. Adopted this 7th day of October, 2025 by the Board of Trustees of Common Ground.
Go, Heather.
Wow, thank you so much. This is definitely a surprise. Good evening. I get to spend some time talking about Common Ground and what's happening in our universe, and I'm so excited to do that. But I want to just recognize the staff present tonight. If the Common Ground staff would please stand up and be recognized. We have a great team, as Eric said, and it's moments like this when we can come together and celebrate what we do together, not just today, but tomorrow, and actually the last 54 years. It's been quite a journey for Common Ground, and we are at a place of growth, and I want to tell you a little bit about what's happening in the organization. But first, our core purpose is helping people move from crisis to hope. It sounds simple, but when our days are filled with challenges, multiple demands, it can be easy to lose sight of what truly matters. And I've learned the purpose is not discovered by chance. It's discovered, it's one we create rather, with purpose, intention, moment by moment, and choice by choice. And one of the reasons that we have such an explosion of depression and anxiety in our society today is because a lot of people don't know the meaning of their life. They can't find their purpose, much less so than prior generations. And there's tons of data that show this. But at our core, as Common Ground, we help people 24/7 in their dark moments take control of their lives by connecting to their purpose. Some are living on the streets. Others are trying to fight the demons that interfere with their substance recovery. Others are trying to cope with the symptoms of mental illness, but all had a purpose that they imagined for themselves at some point in their lives. We are honored to help people reignite their purpose instead of them giving up. Recently, I read a letter from Phyllis, who received treatment at our crisis residential unit at the Resource and Crisis Center in Pontiac. The crisis residential unit is an alternative to psychiatric inpatient hospitalization, and the environmental design promotes recovery, trauma-informed care, and choice. The approach is treatment, and it's connecting people back to their sense of self-worth, health, and purpose so that they can tackle what life throws their way. I think it's interesting, but not surprising, that people seeking help from Common Ground are thankful for what they consider small things we do. But those acts are not small at all. They communicate messages like you are respected, you are valued, you are heard, and you can do hard things. I want to read to you a short handwritten note dated October 2nd. My name is Phyllis. I suffer with acute alcoholism, depression, and anxiety. Through the years, I was severely abused and beat up by my daughter's father. I had a horrible life that spun up and down. I came here to Common Ground 12 days ago. I was treated for my depression and anxiety. The day that I came here, I did not want to live, and I hoped that I could find a way to die. After coming here, let me tell you, they fed us beautiful meals. I got my own room. They gave me clothing, a new purse, etc., and I was so happy. In art therapy, I made beautiful bracelets and so much more. The psychiatrist was so nice to me and helped me get back on my medication, which I had stopped taking. Tomorrow, I go home, and I'm so very happy. I'm excited for life again. Thanks all to Common Ground. Our core purpose of helping people move from crisis to hope also means communities in crisis. I think about the cell phone call I received on September 28th. I was told there was another mass shooting in our state, and we grieve for the families in the community of Grand Blanc who are affected by this horrific event. Genesee County is our home too, and we have a mobile crisis team in Flint, and we were ready to coordinate the response. Common Ground's Victim Services Director, Jamie Ayers, and her team were called upon by state and local officials to help in Grand Blanc because of our reputation and expertise. Our team was on the ground and led efforts to coordinate the development of the Family Assistance Center, which is a temporary location where resources are available, community response planning occurred, and we organized and vetted volunteers and worked closely with the FBI. Our statewide Frontline Strong crisis line was and continues to be a resource for all first responders in need of assistance. You'll hear more about that tonight in the video. But multiple Common Ground teams, staff, and volunteers have provided support in the aftermath. We anticipate helping Grand Blanc community for weeks to come, and I want to thank Senator Rosemary Beer and Representative Mark Tisdale, and Donnie Steele is here as well, and Tom Coons. There's so much help that we received, but Rosemary, thank you so much for helping us get $175,000 legislative appropriation that specifically meant for these moments in our community when we have such a mass violence event that Common Ground can respond immediately. So thank you so much for your efforts. Our staff work closely with the victims, and we plan to continue to provide the support and resources in the weeks ahead through our Victims Assistance Program, our Behavioral Health Urgent Care, our Genesee Mobile Crisis Team, 988, Frontline Strong, Crisis Line, and other Common Ground programs Michigan residents count on in their time of crisis. This is purpose. Unfortunately, Common Ground has developed expertise in serving communities affected by mass violence, including working with federal, state, and local officials as part of their emergency management team. Grand Blanc marks the 4th time Common Ground has responded to mass events in our state, and Jamie Ayers lent her expertise to the Traverse City community just a few months ago. We developed resiliency centers in Oxford, East Lansing, most recently Rochester Hills, to support communities struggling with death, loss, fear, and to hold their hand while they heal. Common Ground has served thousands of students, families, and first responders impacted by mass violence. This is purpose. In Metro Detroit, our brave human trafficking team assists detectives and local law enforcement in their raids to secure those who are victims of human trafficking and help reconnect them back to their families and to rebuild their lives. These news headlines are just a few of the many human trafficking raids where our team collaborated with law enforcement. This is purpose. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline we operate for the state of Michigan handled nearly 480,000 calls since its inception in 2020. And last year it was about 130,000 calls. People from all walks of life and ages call and will soon be able to text our crisis specialist to get help with whatever they're struggling with. This is our purpose. Each year, Common Ground serves more people than all of the mental health providers in our state combined, 165,000 people annually. And I'm gonna get personal for a moment. When I was a teenager, I was defiant, I lacked maturity to plan for my life. I was drifting along, doing the minimum to get by. And I didn't think that I would live past my high school graduation because I couldn't imagine a different life for myself. I couldn't find my purpose. I couldn't find what would motivate me to build that. All I could do is imagine myself stuck right where I was. And my father was very concerned. He knew how to ignite a fire in me that prompted me to action. He called it my superpower. I must have gotten the idea from watching television cartoons as a little girl, but my sister and brother and I would wrestle Dad, the three of us. We were little kids. He was so strong, we couldn't win. I would retreat behind a high-back chair in the living room, and I would take a minute, or a second really, to muster strength, take a deep breath, and jump from behind the chair with my arms in the air, yelling, "Superpower!" and leap back into the wrestling with extraordinary strength. Of course it wasn't, but I thought it was. I still didn't win, but the superpower stuck, and my dad would remind me about that fire within me throughout my life. That's what prompted me to get myself together, go to college, and eventually get my master's degree and to become a leader. I think I did okay with my life, and I didn't really think about superpower for many years. Now, that is on my mind frequently. As a leader of Common Ground, an amazing organization, it is my job to navigate funding challenges, maintain an organizational culture, foster teamwork, and I wish I could say that the public mental health system in our area shared that same belief, that they would refrain from prioritizing their self-interest, that they would be honorable and trustworthy as a partner to the many organizations that provide services in their community, and that they would support the mental health nonprofit network. Instead, they are on a path to tear it down piece by piece. Now, I'm reaching deep inside myself, searching for what is my purpose as a leader at this juncture? How do I lead this organization so that we are supporting people in crisis for another 54 years? How do we fight Goliath? What is our purpose? I love this quote. If people throw stones at you, then pick them up and build something. And that is what we're doing. And I am excited about our future. I am sad about the past and what we're ending with our relationship, but excited about what's to come. And we've forged new partnerships with 3 community behavioral health centers in Genesee County, Oakland County, Macomb, and Wayne counties. We're expanding our mobile crisis teams, our behavioral urgent care, our 988 program, and our services to survivors of crime. Our future is bright, and we are building new relationships with new partners who truly value collaboration toward a common goal. We're constantly evolving and finding new ways to serve our community, and that takes expansion and investment. For us as an organization, our purpose isn't about delivering services or meeting goals. It's about helping others find strength and meaning, that sense of purpose that fuels us. It keeps us moving forward, even when the work is hard. Common Ground is small but mighty, and we are up for this new chapter. And you may be thinking, what can I do? I'm just one person. We need all of you beside us to pick up those stones thrown, and let's build something together. So let's retreat for a moment if we must, recharge, but then jump into our purpose with everything we have and find our superpower together. Thank you. Thank you for supporting Common Ground.